candidate being challenged. The saga surrounding embattled South suburban politician Tiffany.
The political turmoil in Dalton, Illinois has reached unprecedented levels, embroiling Mayor Tiffany Henyard at the center of a real-life soap opera. From township shutdowns to lawsuits, federal investigations, and an endless stream of media coverage, Henyard's leadership has become synonymous with controversy. Many are left questioning how things spiraled so far out of control. The headlines seem endless, and each day uncovers new layers of mismanagement, corruption allegations, and personal misconduct. Critics argue that Henyard's tenure has been marked by power struggles, questionable decisions, and a failure to govern effectively, all of which have contributed to the dysfunction that now engulfs the community. Federal investigations are reportedly probing Henyard's actions, focusing on accusations of financial mismanagement, misuse of public funds, and retaliatory practices. These allegations have only deepened the public's distrust in her administration. Lawsuits against the township are mounting, fueled by claims of unlawful practices, harassment, and abuse of power. These legal battles paint an alarming picture of the governing culture under Henyard's watch. One of the most contentious decisions has been the shutdown of township services, a move that has sparked outrage among residents who feel neglected and abandoned in a leadership vacuum. The growing mistrust within the community reflects deeper systemic issues that have plagued Dalton for years. Public opinion of Henyard has plummeted, with critics arguing that her focus seems more centered on consolidating power than addressing the pressing problems facing the town. Meanwhile, the media frenzy surrounding her administration amplifies every scandal, ensuring that her name remains at the forefront of local political discussions. Some argue that the controversies during Henyard's leadership highlight deeper, structural problems within Dalton's government. Others believe they are the result of unchecked ambition and a failure to prioritize the needs of the community. Despite efforts from her supporters to shift the narrative, the constant barrage of bad press and mounting scandals has painted a bleak picture of an administration struggling to maintain any credibility. The list of grievances continues to grow, from claims of intimidation and harassment to reports of secretive dealings and questionable alliances. The escalating tension between Henyard and her detractors has further polarized the town, dividing residents and officials into camps of fervent supporters and staunch critics. Amid this chaos, one question remains: how did things get this bad? As the controversies continue to unfold, Dalton's residents are left grappling with the fallout, demanding answers and accountability while wondering if their town can ever recover from this political circus. For now, it seems that the drama surrounding Tiffany Henyard is far from over. Each new day brings fresh developments, keeping both the community and the wider public glued to the spectacle of an administration unraveling before their eyes.
Spokespeople today and trustees who are calling it a ploy.
What's going on?
On Wednesday morning, the doors of the Thornton Township building were locked tightly, with a sign posted announcing its unexpected closure. Residents and employees were left bewildered, trying to make sense of the sudden disruption. The length of the closure remained unclear, as did its impact on essential services. People seeking assistance, including those applying for food programs, waited in vain for employees who never arrived. This marked the first township shutdown, sparking confusion and frustration among both the community and staff, especially the township assessor, who, like everyone else, had no information about the situation. Among the concerned residents was a man trying to submit urgent paperwork for a food assistance program. His visible frustration upon finding the locked doors mirrored the sentiment of others. His question, "What happens next?" echoed through the empty halls as no further information was provided beyond the sign. The building's lights were turned off, and no employees showed up, leaving everyone scrambling for answers. The shutdown stems from a political deadlock that has left the township in limbo. A series of meetings failed to reach a quorum due to the absence of two trustees, Carmen Carlili and Chris Gonzalez. Mayor Tiffany Henyard claims their absences are a deliberate attempt to block her from appointing someone to fill a vacant trustee position, which would grant her a tie-breaking vote on the board. This political stalemate has escalated into a crisis of governance, as the township cannot renew its insurance without a quorum, threatening essential services and jobs, according to Henyard. Without insurance, critical programs like senior transport and after-school initiatives could be discontinued, directly impacting vulnerable populations such as children and seniors who rely heavily on these services. Furthermore, the possibility of more than 100 employees facing layoffs has amplified the community's anxiety over the shutdown's far-reaching consequences. Henyard emphasized that the lack of quorum not only paralyzes governance, but also endangers the township's ability to fulfill its responsibilities, with essential services hanging in the balance. The mention of potential layoffs has drawn particular attention, highlighting the human cost of the ongoing political deadlock. It underscores the urgency of resolving the impasse before it leads to further harm. As tensions grow, many residents are left wondering why the community's needs have been sidelined by partisan disputes and what steps can be taken to restore stability. This unprecedented closure reflects deeper issues within Thornton Township's governance and raises questions about accountability and the prioritization of community welfare amid political maneuvering. For residents, the immediate concern is how long the closure will last, what services will be affected, and whether the township's leadership can overcome these challenges to prevent further disruptions. In the meantime, vital programs remain. In jeopardy, employees are uncertain about their futures, and the township faces mounting criticism for its failure to prevent this crisis. The locked doors and dark offices of Thornton Township stand as a stark symbol of a governance system, paralyzed by division, leaving the community to brace for the unknown while demanding answers and solutions to an increasingly dire situation.
Are off behind me. The doors are locked here, and there's a sign on the building right now that says it's closed. For how long? Neither residents nor...
The insurance scandal has intensified scrutiny of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration, raising serious questions about the transparency and integrity of her financial planning. Critics argue that years of unchecked spending and extravagant purchases under Henyard's leadership have deepened the township's financial struggles, leaving residents wondering where their tax dollars have gone. Among the most notorious expenditures is a series of $40,000 in unexplained Amazon purchases, which has become a rallying cry for those demanding accountability. During a recent town hall meeting, tensions boiled over when a resident asked, "What else are they hiding?" A question that resonated with the growing discontent within the community. Henyard has repeatedly pushed back against these allegations, asserting that her administration inherited a financial disaster and that she has been working tirelessly to address long-standing issues. She has framed her efforts as those of a reformer, determined to repair years of neglect and poor fiscal management left behind by previous leaders. However, findings from a limited audit of Dalton's finances have only fueled skepticism, revealing questionable purchases that critics say highlight poor oversight and mismanagement rather than tangible progress. Supporters of Henyard argue that the financial troubles she faces were inevitable, given the township's pre-existing challenges. However, detractors counter that her administration's spending patterns and lack of clear financial accountability have only made matters worse. The ongoing insurance issue has become emblematic of this tension, with its failure to renew highlighting claims of governance failure and an inability to meet essential administrative deadlines due to political gridlock on the board. This crisis has amplified concerns about whether the township's leadership is capable of managing its financial obligations effectively, especially as key programs and services hang in the balance for residents and employees. The consequences of these alleged fiscal missteps are deeply personal. Many employees face the possibility of layoffs, and vital services such as senior transport and after-school programs are at risk of discontinuation. Both of these programs directly impact vulnerable populations, underscoring the tangible cost of administrative failings and the dire need for a resolution to the financial crisis. Critics have also pointed to Henyard's handling of past controversies, suggesting that her leadership style involves deflecting blame and presenting herself as a victim of inherited challenges. Despite these claims, many residents are left questioning the administration's financial priorities. They ask why expenditures, like the infamous Amazon purchases, have gone unaccounted for while the township struggles to maintain even the most basic services. This ongoing financial turmoil has created a sharp divide between Henyard's supporters and her critics, further heightening tension and mistrust within the community. The political deadlock has made it increasingly difficult to find a solution to the crisis, and the lack of transparency surrounding the administration's finances has only exacerbated these difficulties. While Henyard's defenders point to the systemic challenges she faces and her efforts to implement solutions, skeptics view these arguments as insufficient justification for the current state of affairs. They believe that the administration's Failure to prioritize fiscal responsibility and transparency is a significant contributing factor to the ongoing turmoil. The insurance scandal is not merely a budgeting issue. It is a reflection of broader governance concerns that have plagued the township under Henyard's leadership. As public confidence continues to erode, the question remains: can Henyard's administration restore trust and navigate the township out of financial peril? With each new revelation, doubt continues to grow.